Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kids Play Chefs. Today, we're going to be making a recipe named after this book. We're making Sal's Blueberry Muffins. And they were inspired by this story, Blueberries for Sal. So later on, we may take a peek inside that book. But I'm working with one of my favorite chefs, Marissa. Marissa, tell me about how you feel about blueberry muffins.
Well, I like blueberry muffins a lot, and they're probably one of my favorite muffins.
Oh, that's wonderful. They're one of my favorite muffins too. Now, you, the other day, would you double check and make sure your oven is on 350 degrees? Make sure it's nice and hot. Okay. The other day, I know you went to the store, or mommy or daddy went to the store and bought blueberry muffins. What did you notice about the ingredients on those muffins that you bought at the store?
Well, I noticed if I would just make blueberry muffins, what we're making now, we would usually have like 6 or 7 ingredients. But when I look on where it says ingredients, there are like probably more than 20 things.
Oh my goodness. You know what? When I look at those labels too, some of those words, some of those ingredients, I can't even read. Did you find that too? They're really long, complicated words. Well, when you make blueberry muffins at home, following your recipe, you said you only use about 5 ingredients or so? Today's recipe is a lot of fun, Marissa, because we're going to use a pinch of salt. You have some there, right? We're going to use a little bit of oil. We're going to use vanilla. And I'm going to use baking powder. But Marissa is going to do her own baking science experiment. She's going to use soda and a little tiny bit of vinegar when it's time. So we're going to see how that works. Because, you know, when you cook, you have to use what you have. Now, the other ingredient we don't have any extra sugar today. The other ingredient that makes our blueberry muffins sweet and moist in this recipe, we put in applesauce. And you have some applesauce there too, right? Now, we also need a little bit of milk. And of course, we need these round blue things. So you have some blueberries there. Yeah, good. Oh, I love blueberries. So we're going to use a few tools. Our bowl today is kind of small because we're only going to really be making, yours is big, which is fine, that's good. But we're only going to be really making 1 big muffin or 2 small ones. Now, we're going to get started. And what I love about this recipe, Marissa, is if children have allergies to eggs, there are no eggs in here. If children have allergies to flour, they can just substitute a different kind of flour. They can use rice flour or almond flour. And the same thing goes with milk. So this is a great recipe if you don't like to eat a lot of sugar and you have some allergies. But you know what? I can't wait to see if you think the blueberry muffins are yummy. So the first thing we do is I took a muffin pan, and I don't have any cupcake papers. Did you have cupcake papers, Marissa? No? Okay, well, then take a little piece of towel. Hi, Dad. Hi, Jake. And then put a little oil in 1 or 2 of those cups. You won't need more than 2. So do you have some oil that you could put a little tiny bit in there? Marissa has a new assistant chef today. Her dad's there. So much fun. So you wipe a little oil around the cups of your muffin. Okay, did you do that? Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay. Or the spray will work well too. So did you spray the inside the cups? Super. Okay. So those of you who are cooking with Marissa and I, if you have paper cupcake holders, that makes the cleanup different. If you want to use a little oil, it's still easy to clean up your muffin pan. Or you can use a spray like Marissa did, and that also helps the muffin to come out. Now the thing about cooking like this is you start with something dry, you add some liquid, you turn it into kind of a semi-solid, and then when we bake it, for about 15 minutes later, it will turn into a solid muffin. So first of all, we need to look at the flour. Now you could either use 6 tablespoons of flour or 1/3 cup. You know what I found out? It's the same. 6 tablespoons of flour fills 1/3 of this cup. Now flour is nice and dry. I'm putting in 6 tablespoons to my 1/3 cup. Be sure you level it off. Okay. Number 5, and then 6. And look at that. That is the same as 1/3 cup of flour. So I'm going to put it in my bowl. Did you put your flour in? Okie dokie. Now we're going to take some baking powder. Now Marissa's going to use baking soda. So Marissa, take out your half teaspoon measurement and put in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And you're going to add the vinegar a little bit later. You're not going to put it in right now. Okay, so I'm going to mix that in with the flour with my spoon, because if you don't, sometimes it tastes bitter in certain places. So we have baking powder and we have flour. You have baking soda and flour. We're going to use a little pinch of salt. You know how we do that. We pour a little bit in our hands, and then we'll put a little pinch in here. And just dust the rest off, but not in my bowl, because I don't want my blueberry muffin to be salty. Now we're going to make enough blueberry muffins for Marissa to have a big one and me to have a big one. But if you want to make one for your whole family, you just multiply this recipe over and over. You multiply the ingredients and make them more. So we have all the dry ingredients together. And now we're going to start to add wet things, wet ingredients. And when they get together, they're going to make a semi-solid. So I'm going to start with the oil, okay? And we're going to put in, about 1 tablespoon. I'm using sunflower oil. I wonder what kind of oil you're using, Marissa. Can you read the label?
Vegetable oil.
Oh, vegetable oil. Good. You could use corn oil. I've even made this recipe with olive oil. And I'm going to pour in a teaspoon of oil. And then I'm going to pour in the vanilla. That's the other wet ingredient. And that's going to be a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to switch to my 1/2 teaspoon measure. Put that in there. And oh, vanilla smells so good. Did you get to take a smell of it? It smells like perfume. Now, Marissa, doesn't it smell good? Marissa, you have one more ingredient that I don't have that's wet. So at this time, could you add your 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar to your mixture? And you may see it make a little bubbles, because that's going to be your leavening material. Super. Okay, now let's put the rest of the wet things in. You have your applesauce. I have my applesauce. And really, everyone who's cooking with us, this is the only sugar you put into this recipe. It's just from the applesauce. Now, the applesauce comes in these cute little cups. Mine does. Marissa's comes in a jar. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of sweetened applesauce. Now, if your applesauce that you have on the shelf didn't have sugar in it, you could add a little sugar if you want. But someone's already sweetened this applesauce. And really, applesauce is pretty sweet anyway. Okay, now let's see. We have oil, we have salt. I have baking powder. Marissa's using baking soda and vinegar. I have some vanilla, and we have our applesauce. Now we need our milk. And again, you know, I'm using buttermilk. Marissa's using cow's milk, low fat it looks like. You could also use almond milk or soy milk. And we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of milk, Marissa, okay? Ready? I'm going to hold it over the bowl just in case it spills. It'll go into the bowl. Okie dokie. bowl sounds like it's making music, does yours? Okay. Marissa's working along with me. She's counted out her 3 tablespoons. And the last thing we're going to put in, but not yet, is the blueberries. So I'm going to take about my mixing spoon. I didn't add blueberries yet. And I'm going to mix all of these ingredients. And look what's happening. My liquids are going in with my solids. And it's making kind of a semi-solid that I can move around in my bowl. And Marissa's mixing up hers. And if you're cooking with Marissa and I at home, you're probably mixing up yours. Mine kind of smells like pancake batter. Okay, now comes the blueberries. My blueberries are really big, so I'm only going to put in 1 tablespoon of blueberries. But if your blueberries are little, you might want to put in 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon. Oh, and I think I'll put in just 3 or 4 more blueberries just to make it good. And then you just gently stir them up. I'm already seeing bubbles in my batter. And the applesauce adds a sweetener and adds some moisture to this. Now I'm going to put all my batter into 1 muffin pan, unless it seems like it's going to be too big. And then I'm going to divide it into 2. So Marissa, it's time to put our batter into that muffin cup that we put the oil in. Yeah, I think I'm going to make 2 because I think if I put them all in this one, it's going to be too big. So you can either make 1 big one, or I think you'll have enough to make 2 smaller muffins. Okay, I'm going to take my spoon and go around. I really want all that goodness from the batter into my muffins. And I've got a spatula here, and I'm going to scoot it off with my spatula, or if your fingers are clean, you can use your fingers to do that. Okay. Now, our muffins are ready to go in to the oven. You know what, Marissa, I'm going to do just for fun, I'm going to take 1 big fat blueberry and I'm going to put it on top of my muffin. You can do this if you want to. I'm going to take another one and put it on top of my other muffin. It looks like kind of like a cupcake. Looks like it has blue eyes. Okay, everybody at home who's cooking with Marissa and I, it's time to put our muffin pans into the oven. Marissa, you can have Daddy do this, or you can do this too. All right, I'm going to put it in there. And my oven is nice and hot. It's on 350 degrees. Now, the thing is, Marissa, it's going to take about 1/2 of the TV show, about 15 minutes for that muffin to cook. So while we're waiting, I'm going to be reading this story out loud. So you can decide if you want to hear the story. You can stay on and keep listening, and then we'll take our muffins out of the oven. Or if you want to not listen to the story, that's okay too. So you decide what you want to do. Talk to Dad. Would you like to listen to the story?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that the recipe that we just used, Marissa, is that different than the blueberry recipe you have that you cook with?
Well, I usually use more because I usually fill maybe the whole pan or more.
Okay, so you have enough when you make muffins to cook for the whole family almost. So remember, you can do that with this recipe too if you just multiply it. Okay, you get comfortable and I'll get comfortable, and I'm going to hold the book up here, move some of these ingredients out of the way. I love blueberry for Sal. You've heard this story before, right, Marissa? Okay. Is there anything about it you like?
I like when Sal and the little bear get mixed up.
That's so true. There are 2 important characters. There's the little bear and there is Sal, who's a little boy, right? And then there are 2 mommies, right? Can you talk about the 2 mommies that are in the story?
Well, one mom is Sal's mom, and the other mom is the little bear's mom, and Sal's mom is trying to get blueberries for the winter, but the bear's mom is trying to eat the berries.
Very good. I couldn't have done that summary better than myself. I'm going to read the story, and I think it's so fun to make the sounds that go in this story because they both have buckets. See, there's Sal's bucket, there's Mommy's bucket. They're made out of metal, and they make a little sound. My bowl did too, I think. They make a little sound when they put the blueberries in until, well, you'll see. One day, little Sal went with her mother to Blueberry Hill to pick blueberries, just like Marissa said. Little Sal brought along her little pail, and her mother brought her large tin pail. And her mom said, we'll take our berries home and we'll can them and we'll have food all winter long. Maybe she's going to make muffins in the winter. Little Sal picked 3 berries and dropped them in the little tin pail. And here's the sound. They go, kerplink, kerplunk, kerplunk. She picked 3 more berries and she ate them. And then she picked more berries and she dropped one in the pail, kerplunk. And the rest she ate. And then little Sal ate all 4 blueberries out of her pail. So Marissa, you're really good at math. How many blueberries are in her pail?
I forgot. How many did she?
How many? Well, she ate 3, and then she reached inside her pail and she ate 4 more. That was the last of her blueberries. So what's that? Oh,
7.
What is it?
7.
It was 7 until she ate them. And then what was the number? What was left?
0.
0. That's 0, the hero number. Well, now you see, if you were looking at the book inside, you see there's a mommy and there's Sal, and they're going up this hill where the blueberry bushes are. And little Sal struggled along behind, picking blueberries and eating them as fast as she could. Little Sal hurried ahead, and she dropped a blueberry in her mother's pail. It didn't make any sound at all. Oh, because her mother's pail was covered with blueberries inside. She reached inside to get her berry back, and though she really didn't mean to, she pulled out a whole handful of berries from her mommy's pail, and she ate every one of them. Well, you know what her mommy said. Her mommy stopped picking, and she said, now, Sal, you run along and pick your own berries, because Mother wants to take her berries home and save them for the winter. Well, her mother went back to picking blueberries, and little Sal, because her feet were tired of standing and walking, sat down in the middle of a large clump of blueberry bushes and proceeded to eat blueberries. Uh-oh, here comes the other mommy that Marissa told you about, the mommy bear. And behind her is Little Bear. Little Bear, she said, eat lots of berries and grow big and fat. We must store up all this food that we can for the winter. Little Bear followed behind his mother as she walked slowly through the bushes, and she was eating all the berries she could find. Little Bear stopped every now and then to keep eating berries, and then he had to hustle along to catch up with his mother. Now that's really important, isn't it, Marissa? Because there's a mix-up in this story. Because his feet were tired of hustling, he picked out a large clump of bushes and sat down right in the middle of those bushes and ate blueberries. This time, it's not little Sal in the middle of the bushes, it's Little Bear. And here's where the mix-up starts. Over on the other side of the hill, little Sal ate all the berries she could reach from where she was sitting, and then she started out to find her mother. She heard a noise from around a rock, and she thought, oh, that's my mother walking along. Uh-oh. But it was not. It was a mother crow and her babies. And they stopped eating berries and they flew away saying, caw, caw, caw. And then she heard another noise in the bushes and she thought, that is surely my mother, and I'll go that way. Well, it was Little Bear's mother instead. She was tramping along, eating berries, thinking about storing up food for the winter, and little Sal tramped along behind her. Now, little Sal must see that that's a bear, but Mommy Bear does not see that that's little Sal. By this time, little Bear had eaten all the berries he could reach without moving from his clump of bushes, so he hustled off to catch up with his mother. Uh-oh, here's where the other mix-up happens. He hunted and he hunted, but his mother was nowhere to be seen. He heard a noise from over a stump and he thought, that's my mother walking along. Well, it was not a mother. It was a mother partridge. It wasn't a mother bear. And they stopped eating berries. These are little partridge birds. And of course, they ran away. Then he heard another sound and he said, that is surely my mother. Uh-oh. I don't know if you can see where you're looking from, but that is not a bear mommy. That's little Sal's mother, and this is the mix-up. It was little Sal's mother instead, and she was walking along picking berries and thinking about canning them for next winter. Little Bear hustled right along behind. Little Bear and little Sal's mother and little Sal and little Bear's mother were all mixed up with each other. All of them among the blueberries on Blueberry Hill. Well, little Bear's mother heard Sal walking along behind her, and she thought it was little Bear because she didn't turn around. She said, little Bear, eat all you can possibly hold. And she swallowed her blueberries, and little Sal said nothing. She picked 3 berries and she dropped them, kerplink, kerplunk, kerplunk, in her small tin pail. Now, wait a minute. Mommy Bear remembers her little bear didn't have a small tin pail. So she turned around. She knew a baby bear couldn't make a sound like kerplunk. Grumph, she cried like a big mommy bear. This is not my child. Where's little Bear? She took one look and she backed away because she was old enough to be afraid of people. And then she turned around and she walked off very fast to hunt for little Bear. Well, little Sal's mother heard little Bear tramping along behind and thought it was little Sal. She kept right on picking, thinking about canning blueberries for her family in the winter. Little Bear padded up and peeked into her pail. Ooh, it was full of blueberries. So you know what he did? He tasted a tremendous mouthful of those blueberries from little Sal's mother's pail. Little Sal's mother didn't turn around and she said, you run along and pick your own berries, little Sal. Mom wants to pick hers for next winter. Oh, little Bear tasted another tremendous mouthful and almost pulled the entire pail out of Sal's mother's. Look at this picture. Sal's mother turns around and little Bear looks at her and Sal's mother looks at little Bear and then she says, oh no, where is my little Sal? So she goes to look for little Sal. She finds him sitting by a rock eating blueberries. Now, what's going to happen to that baby bear? Little Bear's mother had not hunted very long before she heard a hustling sound that stopped now and then to munch and swallow. She knew just what made that kind of noise. Her baby bear. Well, this is the ending of this great story, and it's also almost time to take our blueberry muffins out. Here's the ending. Little Bear and his mother went home down one side of Blueberry Hill, eating blueberries all the way, and full of food stored up for next winter. And little Sal and her mother went down the other side of Blueberry Hill, picking berries all the way, and drove home with food to can and freeze for next winter. A whole pail of blueberries and 3 more besides. That's the end of Blueberries for Sal, and that's why we named this muffin recipe Sal's Blueberry Muffins. Now, I'm going to look at the clock, and I'm peeking at my muffin, and they're almost ready. Let me take them out and see. You peek at yours. They should be able to spring back up after you touch them down. Now, mine are going to be a little, I think I'm going to leave them in for a little longer to get brown. You decide about yours. If they look nice and brown on top, you can take them out. let them cool a little bit, and then you lift them out of the muffin pan. Here's one and another one. They're small muffins that I made earlier. They're a little bit brown around the edges. They're full of luscious blueberries. So when yours are ready to come out of the oven, Marissa, let them cool just a little bit, and all the chefs at home, let them cool just a little bit, and then enjoy your Sal's blueberry muffins. Marissa, thanks for cooking with me today. Joe?
You're welcome.
You think you're going to eat your blueberry muffins?
Yeah.
Okie doke. I hope you enjoy them, and I can't wait to taste your recipe someday. Okay, bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.